And still the Undisputed African Fighting Podcast champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's UFC Fight Night, Dolidze versus Hernandez. It takes place this Sunday morning, 4 a.m. South African time. With me today is reigning Undisputed Beating Champion of the world. He is our chief analyst. It is, of course, Brother Gaia.
Oh, what's up?
I'm the champion right here.
Brother Gaia, this is UFC Fight Night, Dolidze versus Fluffy Hernandez. As always,
Yeah, bro.
we will start.
At the top of the card.
At the top of the card, we see our main event. It is Fluffy Hernandez versus Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze comes into this fight as the number 9 ranked middleweight. He's 15-3-0, 8 wins by KO, 3 by sub, 8 first round finishes on a 3-fight win streak. Last time out beating the washed up ghost of Martin Vettori by unanimous decision. He's coming up against the man who is an absolute tear in the UFC at the moment. He's the number 10 middleweight. It's Anthony Hernandez, and he has 8 wins by sub, 5 first round finishes, 7-fight win streak. Last time out beating Brendan Allen by unanimous decision. So BG, are we going to see the continuation of the streak here by Fluffy Hernandez, or is it going to be an upset here for Dolidze? I'm going to pull up some lines while you get to it there, bro.
Sure, bro. This is actually an exciting fight, for the main event. We skipped the last fight night because it was a little bit of a boring card, although there were some great fights on the fight card. On paper, it doesn't really spark a lot of confidence. This card more of the same, but when I saw Fluffy Hernandez and Dolidze, I was like, okay, I'm tuning in. This is a fight because obviously it's got middleweight implications. These guys can push themselves high up in that rankings, right? I think we also have Hernandez fighting next week, so middleweight is moving. It's a division that's moving. I think Fluffy Hernandez and Roman Dolidze, if you look at 2024, 2025, these two names have been very consistent in that middleweight division. So super excited for this fight. You made a good point about Dolidze's last win against Marvin Vettori, but it was still very much a game Marvin Vettori. And Dolidze has kind of looked good like for this last 2 years. He's showed up to look like a really good opponent. Sharp boxing, good wrestling when he wants to, good durability. He did take some damage, or he did take some heavy shots in that fight against Vettori, and he was able to withstand them. Even the fight against Kevin Holliday as well. Anthony Hernandez, though, in my opinion, actually significantly different if you look at his seven fight win streak. Granted, it's not as high caliber opponents that Roman Dolidze has fought if you look at Dolidze's last 3 fights. However, it is still a 7-fight win streak. It is a very good win streak in terms of what he's done, his submissions, there's a couple of decisions, and some really good fights. I think the Brendan Allen win was a very much a marquee win for Anthony Hernandez. I will say, though, they fought twice before that, so Hernandez did kind of know how to navigate that fight. It was still very much a tough Brendan Allen. In this fight in particular, I want to say Anthony Hernandez, right? But this is a big but. Hernandez does his best work round 3, round 4, round 5, right? Late in the rounds. If it's 3-round fight, he goes hard round 2, round 3. A bit of a slow starter. And Hernandez's best weapons come from clinches, takedown, top control, 1 and pound, submission. And there's a lot of things that is listed, right? That means he has to get the fight into a position where he's grappling with you. Whether that's up against the cage and he's grinding on you, making you tired, throwing some elbows, forcing takedowns, making you work and gas you out to the point where he gets to the 3rd round, he can take you down a lot easier and smash and maybe get to a rear naked choke or armbar or some sort, right? Take it into a submission threat game. Dolidze has got good takedown defense and he's a very good wrestler himself. He doesn't show it that much, but he can wrestle, right? He's durable. And I think his boxing's a little bit sharper than Anthony Hernandez. So in this fight, it's more like I can give the first 2 rounds to Roman Dolidze, keep it boxing, keep it sharp, because Fluffy does look a little bit sloppy when they're striking. When they're out on the feet and they're out in the open and they're on the outside and they have to box, Hernandez doesn't look the most comfortable here. And that's why you see him kind of force clinching positions a lot in his fight, because he wants to get you there as fast as possible, because that's where he's at his best. I just don't know if Roman Dolidze's experience and strength is going to allow the fight to stay there. I think Roman Dolidze is a tougher fight for Hernandez than Brendan Allen. Allen had a very good showing last 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I still think that, let's say, on the streak that he's at right now, and being the sharper fighter, in my opinion, in terms of the striking, I think he's going to give Hernandez a tough time to get to those takedown positions. Now, he's a 5-round fight, 4-5. When he fought, what's his name? Marvin Vettori. And you mentioned it's a washed out Marvin Vettori. When they got to rounds 4 and 5, he, let's say, looked a little bit tired, but he played the fight safe. He was able to not be in dangerous positions. Even though he was getting clipped here, we all know that Vettori's got pillow hands, so he was able to take those shots. But Barry was a more powerful fighter, a more devastating striker. I think that, let's say, would have had a tough time around 4 and 5. He would have really been struggling. A more devastating fighter would have got him out of there. But he showed signs of someone that was tired, but also high IQ to stay safe. Now, Hernandez, when it's round 4 and 5, he's not going to make you stay safe. He's going to push the pressure even harder on you because he's got a good gas tank. He levels up after that third round. So it's a very intriguing matchup here. So I'm going to go Anthony Hernandez, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if Dolidze gets the job. Dolidze wins this by decision. Hernandez wins this fight either by decision or by a submission. Because he's more of the go-getter, in my opinion, here. Tough fight for both guys. Good main event. Let's go.
Give thanks, brother Gaia. So speaking of lines, bro, Dolidze might be a live underdog here at 3.6. What are your thoughts there, bro? Is that a fair line? What do you think is a live dog here, bro?
That for me, when I look at that on screen, it looks like the bookies wants to take my money. That's what it looks like. Like they're just luring me in and say, "Come, look at this Dolidze. It's a very good underdog to bet on, right? The risk isn't that high." But I think the fight's a lot closer than that, in my opinion. I was actually gonna say Dolidze is the favorite here, even though Hernandez is on a 7-fight win streak. Shocking. That's a shocking betting line, I'm not gonna lie.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. If you agree with that or if you disagree. Is that line too wide and should we be placing a live bet on? Let us know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. But PG, do you have any final thoughts here before we move to the bantamweights?
Just excited for this fight. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I thought it was a really good matchup when I saw it the first time. I was like, "Oh, that's a fight to tune into." So let's see. I'm expecting a bit of a dog fight just purely because of Fluffy Hernandez. He doesn't put on boring fights. I'm expecting this to be a war, and I think it's gonna come down war of nutrition. I'm gonna favor Hernandez.
Thanks, brother Gaia. And as the aforementioned bantamweights come into the fray now, we see Steve Usyk coming up against Ode Osbourne. Steve Usyk is the number 10 ranked flyweight. He's 12-4-0. 2 wins by KO. 2 wins by KO. 6 fight. Wait, my notes are completely jankered here. 5 first round finishes. 3 fight losing streak. However, last time out he lost to Brandon Moreno by unanimous decision. Coming up against Ode Osbourne, 13-8-0, 6 wins by KO, 4 by sub, 8 first round finishes. Last time out he beat Louis Guru by round 2 KO. So was it Ode Osbourne who was talking about like he lost that killer instinct? Was that him, if I remember correctly?
There was a time where
you did a video about it. It was an Ariel Awani interview. Was it him?
No, I think that was no. It might have been Jalen Turner.
That was Jalen Turner. My apologies.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, BG, give us your breakdown here, bro.
Yeah, dude, strange fight because this is the third opponent that was offered to Steve Usyk. Very late replacement. Steve Usyk was supposed to fight against Alex Perez, and I was calling the whole of last year and this year, and I was like, where the hell is Alex Perez? He's ranked in the division. This guy hasn't fought. What the hell's going on? You got Steve Usyk pulled out again, another cancellation. And then they offered Steve Usyk. What's the dude the guy who fought against Tatsuya Taira last week? That Park was they offered Park, and then they said no. Well, we're gonna give Park to Tatsuya Taira because Tatsuya Taira's opponent also pulled out, fucked up all the matchmaking. And Ode Osbourne, and that's why this fight's at bantamweight, not at flyweight, because Ode Osbourne's a bantamweight. Steve Usyk's not a bantamweight, even though he's quite tall for the flyweight division, so he could make the bantamweight weight limit quite easily, actually. But I watched the interview with Steve Ersic earlier in the day on the John Anik and Ken Flo podcast. Steve Ersic was saying this is a once-off thing. He doesn't really want to go fight bantamweight. He was like, no, the bantamweights are killers and they're massive. So he's like, nope, I'm gonna do this once-off and I'm gonna go back down to flyweight because that's where he wants to stay. And I feel like he can stick it out to the flyweight guys. I like what he said. He felt that when he was fighting in the UFC, when he got Pantoja and then Kai Kara France and then Brandon Moreno, he was treating it like it was like he was the fan taking on a superstar. Oh, I'm taking on Moreno. Oh, I'm fighting against Kai Kara France. Pantoja, and there was a bit of imposter syndrome where now he's like, stop that shit. I need to go in there and treat it like I'm a champion as well and fight to the death kind of vibe, not be this starstruck kind of athlete because you're also an athlete and you're ranked in the division. You're not a fan. So I like that he's changed that. And I think Odi Osborne's going to be a phenomenal test for him, really. It's a southpaw. He hasn't really fought southpaws. Odi Osborne's a very good striker. Even though Odi Osborne's career has been, in the UFC top seed turbo, he hasn't really gone on a proper streak yet. Still a very dangerous opponent, in my opinion. I still think he's got a lot of skills, good wrestling. I think it's going to be a tough fight for Steve Ersic. I'm interested to see what Steve Ersic looks like in the bantamweight division. If I must give you a pick, I'm probably gonna go with Steve Ersic. Just because I think he can, if he fights anything the way he did when he fought against Pantoja, right? That's Steve Ersic. He's a dog, bro, and he's skillful and he's very dangerous when it comes to the ground game. And I think if he can get Osborne down, he wins the fight. This is a 3-round fight. The only thing I'm worried about for Steve Ersic, he's a bigger opponent, and bantamweights are pretty jacked, but Osborne isn't really one of the bigger guys of the bantamweight division. Let's be real. He is smaller than Steve Ersic as well. I don't know if the power differential is going to be that much of a difference in this fight. I think Steve Ersic might be able to hold his own here. I believe he's the better wrestler as well, with better jiu-jitsu. It's just a matter of is he going to be able to pull that dog out of him that he did when he fought against Pantoja? Because if he fights relaxed in the way he did when he fought against Kai Kara France and Moreno, Osborne's going to go in for the kill fast, bro. He wants to get back into the win streak. He's won his last fight. He wants to accumulate more wins because he wants to climb that bantamweight division. So I think he also can't afford to lose against someone that isn't even in your division, right? So I think Osborne's going to come in very dangerous, and I think Steve Ersic has to be smart in this fight. So let's go Steve Ersic, bro. He gets the job done. I find him more skillful, in my opinion.
Fair comment. What chances do you give Odi Osborne here, though, bro? If you were a betting man, do you think that would be worth a flutter?
Ooh, I want to say... Nah, the only way I can see Osborne winning this fight is decision 80.
Because the bookies are really giving Odi Osborne no chance here, bro.
Yo, look at that. No props even. Madness.
So I'm saying Odi Osborne, Roman Dolidze, bro. Let's go. This weekend, let's get paid, boys.
I wouldn't do that, eh? Maybe Roman Dolidze is a good... I think it's a safer bet for Roman Dolidze, but for this one, I won't go Odi Osborne. Odi Osborne is a patient striker, right? Steve Ersic got knocked out by Kai Kara France, but this Kai Kara France, he hits fucking hard, right? Brandon Moreno cracked Steve Ersic a few times, but couldn't put him away, and then had to go to decision. Pantoja, who smoked Kai Kara France and smoked Brandon Moreno in the last 2 fights, almost lost to Steve Ersic. Steve Ersic fought like he had nothing to lose in that fight. He fought like there was... Like, if I lose here, it's fine. But if I win here, I'm the fucking champion. And he fought like that and it made him very dangerous. Right? He was able to take Pantoja's best shots and walk right through them like it was nothing and make Pantoja struggle. So he needs to fight with that kind of confidence and he will get the job done because I do believe he's got the skills to do it. Odi Osborne, yes, he won his last fight by knockout, but that was against a fighter who came from Dynamite Contender Series. That was his debut fight. Right? Before that, Odi Osborne was losing a lot of fights to fighters like what's that Mexican kid that got throat checked? Ronaldo Rodriguez. Right?
Oh, that man, yeah.
Yeah, he lost to Jaffe Alfilia, who's a very good submission threat. So I know that, but these guys are not even ranked. You know what I'm saying? So I think Odi Osborne, though he's a good striker, he's more of a I'll throw one shot here, maybe a combination here. But he's more patient until he gets that kill shot. And he doesn't really set up that kill shot by maybe chopping the leg, chopping the body, by slowing his opponent down. It's more like walking into the pocket. I'm gonna catch you with a fast 1-2 because I know I'm fast. And That's what he relies on, but I just don't know if that's what's gonna work. Steve Usyk is crafty, bro. He just mustn't fight scared.
Fair play, BG. Fair play. Let us know your thoughts if you have any in that comment section, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna move to some strawweight women's bout now between Yasmin Lucindo, who is the number 8 ranked strawweight contender. She is 17-6-0, 8 wins by KO, 3 by sub. 3 first round finishes. Last time out, she lost to Amanda Lemos by unanimous decision. Angela Hill is the number 12 strawweight contender. She is 18-14-0, veteran in the game. 5 wins by KO, 1 first round finish. Beat Ketlin Souza by a split decision in the last fight. So BG. What are your thoughts here, bro?
Oh, I don't know what to feel. I forgot that Angela Hill's even ranked, bro. I thought she was just collecting paychecks now and just being the fighter that tests the youngins for one champion. For UFC. But you know what, AD? I would sing a lot of praise for Yasmin Lucindo, right? And Amanda Lima showed me that she's actually not where I thought she was. And that is when she takes on more experienced athletes, they know how to actually beat her, right? They know that she's strong. She's got a lot of knockout power. She shows signs of almost like Pechicha a little bit, but in MMA. And the difference here is that Pechicha can fight 5 rounds easy. Lucindo can't even get through round 1. Then she's already tanked, right? And Angela Hill is like a battery. She's just gonna keep coming at you. She might not knock you out, but she's gonna stay in your face and throw stuff and maybe go for a takedown and throw stuff and just stay busy because she knows she's got the cardio and she knows she's got the experience on you. She's gonna try and bully you like that. The risk for Angela Hill doing that is sometimes she gets caught doing those kind of things. And Lucindo is probably one of the hardest punchers in that division, other than maybe what's her name? Wei Li, the champ. So Angela's gonna have to be careful and not just go in there like when she fought against Tabitha Ricci, thinking that she's gonna bully you. And then Tabitha Ricci beats her ass, right? She's gonna have to be a little bit more respectful of the opponent she's gonna face because it is a very much of a powerful puncher. But it's a big but. Lucindo carries a lot of weight, and she does struggle with the conditioning. So if you can, survive the first round, maybe just in the first round, just wrestle heavy on her. Because I do believe that Angela's got the better gas tank. If she just clinches with her a lot, stay up against the cage, force her to use that arms and gas out a little bit, she'll be a little bit of a slower target, an easier target to land on round 2 and round 3. And I think Angela Hill can get the job done by unanimous decision by deploying that kind of game plan. But she has to keep her guard up in all times. None of this that she loves to do, the hands are up here, because the Cinder will catch her and she'll put you out. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Angela Hill. I'm going to go with experience here. And this is the first time I'm going to go against Lucindo. Now I'm going to go with Angela Hill. But I'm not as hyped for the fight. The only thing that's making me interested is because they're both ranked. And, Lucindo's number 8. You're in the top 10, bro. So that means you need to get a win and show why you deserve to be in the top 10. And if you lose to a veteran in Angela Hill, who's basically of the same class that was graduating from the Tough House with Juliana Pena. So that kind of tells you it's almost more than 10 years that Angela Hill's been doing this. You can't be losing at someone that's been in the game for that long. You need to show them that you are the new breed. And granted, Lucindo's only 20 years old, but she's been fighting for a while, and that ranking name is there for no reason. So let's see what you got. But I do believe the experience is going to be the one that gets the job done, yeah.
You're going for Angela Hill there, BG. She is also starting as the underdog here at 2.7. Yasmin Lucindo is 1.48. I'm probably like you must want to go the distance, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So once that prop comes out, be interesting to have a look at the number there. Won't be great. But anyway, BG, give us your final words on this one, and then we'll move.
Just hoping for a great scrap. That's all. I can't give anything else. I think
BG's given all that he can give, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's a deserved. It's a deserved an opponent for Lucindo, in my opinion. Because if she had beaten Amanda Lemos, it would have catapulted her. But the loss showed us and herself that there's a lot that she has to learn before she can really crack the top 5.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know your thoughts as always. But we're gonna move to some featherweights now. It's Andre Fili coming up against Christian Rodriguez. Both men are unranked. Andre Fili's professional record is 21-12-0. He's got 10 wins by KO, 3 by sub, 8 first round finishes. Last time out, losing to Milikizele Costa by first round sub. He's coming up against C Road Christian Rodriguez, 12-3 and 3 wins by KO, 4 by sub, 5 first round finishes. Also losing to Milikizele Costa, but he lost by unanimous decision. So BG, there is absolutely nothing.
Do you want to watch that? Do you want to watch that? Do you want to watch?
So
Dude, what happened
thought,
to Andre Tachifili? What happened to Andre Tachifili? There was a point where he was like the guy, you know, like when the Cub Swanson era was happening, you were like, Andre Fili is gonna be the dude, Andre Tachifili. But then just went on like losing streak after losing streak after losing streak, and I was like, yo, is this dude ever gonna come back to it? He's taken on a very good boxer and Christian Rodriguez, but Christian Rodriguez sometimes, actually a lot of the times, has the habit of just not putting his fighters away, or he slows down and he lets the opponent come back, and then it's like, why were you in a fight like that when you know you didn't have to be? You were dominating the dude and you let him come back round 2 and 3 and put yourself into a war that was completely unnecessary. But I think this is going to be a stand-up fight. I think I want to go with Andre Fili because I think he's the faster fighter, he's the taller fighter. He can let that jab go, maybe get himself into a position where once Christian Rodriguez is rocked, maybe get a submission. I think he can use that, but he has to be careful because Rodriguez, when he keeps his guard in tight, he tucks down, fights dude. However, Rodriguez has really been against, like, let's be honest, they've been feeding him a lot of youngsters prior to the loss against Milikizele Costa. So I don't really want to put that much stock into Christian Rodriguez, even though I was like, okay, good wins. You beat guys who did beat to a bunch of 18-year-olds. So I am going to go with Andre Fili, but I also feel uncomfortable saying it because Andre Fili has just been taking knockouts after knockouts of late. So it's like, in this fight, I think it's a pick'em. I don't think it's going to be in that much wrestling. I think they're going to, if they're easily wrestling, it's going to be clean choke up against the cage, at which point they will probably break, either make for a boring fight, but they will probably have to break from there and then let the boxing go again. I favor Fili. I think he's got the sharper hands, the longer reach. And I think he needs to use that in this fight. Stay on the outside. Rodriguez will come to you because he has no choice but to come to you because he's a shorter fighter. And then when you get into his range, you make him known that there's this line here that you can't cross, and if you're gonna cross this line, you're gonna feel something hectic. You know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna go with Andre Fili on this one. Let's go touchy Fili.
Andre Fili starting as the 3.4 underdog here. Sorry, 3, triple your money for Andre Fili here, ladies and gentlemen. Christian Rodriguez is starting at the 1.4 favorite. So a lot of live dogs seemingly on this card. BG might make a betting man come out of retirement, bro. What's happening? What's happening here? But anyway, bro. Yeah.
But I'll chat about it at the end. No. I will make that announcement at the end of the show.
Easy. All right then. Miles Johns versus Jean Matsumoto in the bantamweight division. I don't have any notes for this one, bro. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Miles Johns is 15-3-0. Jean Matsumoto is 16-1. So impressive records here from both gentlemen. BG, give us your analysis here, bro.
Yeah, I don't know how I skipped his names, bro. And this is the fight I was actually looking forward to on the fight card. It's so weird that I didn't put these names down. So I'm a fan of the young kid in Jean Matsumoto. I thought he was a good stand-up guy. He's making names for himself in the organization. The fight against Rob Font was a good display, especially because it was a short notice fight, right? He went really well. In fact, he might have won that fight, right? But even though he lost it, lessons learned. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get tapped out. It was a really game fight. Lost by split decision. Prior to that, he was really going on the streak, beating some really good names. Brad Katona, Aguileta from the Tough House. Miles Johns, power in those hands. I don't know where it comes from, but he reminds me a little bit of John Dodson, but minus the speed, but that power boxing, very fast hands though. He lost to what's this kid's name, Lima, that fought a few weeks back. Who we fought against, but prior to that, what's his name? I almost called him John Dodson again. Miles Johns was going on a win streak, putting people away, and I really like that. He's primarily a boxer. His wrestling normally comes out when he wants to play it safe. This is going to be a stand-up fight until one of them gets tipped. And it's going to force the wrestling exchanges. I think Matsumoto's got the better grappling. Doesn't really have to use it. I think is he not taller fighter between the two? So he might just want to be on the outside, use his range, and that's how he fought. He fought like that against Rob Font, who has a longer reach than him. But he had Rob Font all sorts of trouble for that in that fight. So I'm gonna go Jin Matsumoto. He's gonna have to just be careful in that first round. Especially when they're getting into the void and they're gonna start, plant their feet and let their hands go. I think he's just gonna have to be a little bit careful there and not try and swing faster than Miles. I think if he does that, he's gonna get clipped. He's gonna have to maybe go on the offbeat and maybe let Miles throw a combination first, and then maybe throw a strike halfway through Miles' left hook, tuck under in your right, or something like that. He's gonna have to really not go punch for punch, speed for speed here. He's gonna have to create moments where he's opening gaps. He's basically letting Miles Johnson overcommit, because he loves to do that. He loves to, once he plants his feet, he's gonna commit to the strikes because he believes he's got the better power than you. So you need to get him into those kind of positions where you're tapping him into that, false sense of security, where I'm ready to stand and bang with you, but then actually I'm a bit take a half step back and then come in again with an elbow of some sorts. Basically, just let Miles set those steps against Miles, because you can't stand and bang with him first for first. He's gonna fuck you up. So fun fight. And I'm gonna go Jin Matsumoto. I don't know who's the favorite or underdog here, but I've got a feeling Miles is the favorite. I'm gonna go with Jin in this one. Miles is not the favorite. Oh my soul.
Yeah, Miles Johnson is in fact a big dog here, bro. So lots of money to be made, seemingly, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know your thoughts in the comments there. But we will go to the middleweight division next, PG, where Dricus du Plessis is, of course, the champion. And about to put Khamzat into the ground in just a few days, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for that. Eric Anders is 17-8-0. He's got 10 wins by KO, 1 by sub, 7 first-round finishes. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Last time out, he beat the ghost of Chris Weidman by second-round KO. Coming up against Christian Leroy Duncan, excuse me.
Let's
who
go.
is 11-2-0. 8 wins by KO, 1 win by sub, 4 first-round finishes. Last time out, beat Andrei Pulayev by unanimous decision. PG, over to you, sir.
Yes. Super excited, but at the same time, more to kind of want to see Leroy in this fight in the KO. It's just the only thing with that is, every time I think he's going to get it done, he doesn't get it done in that fashion, and he wins a very snoozy decision win. And with all the hype, all the kickboxing, with all that prowess that he has under his belt, he just ends fights by decision every single time, and it's a bit disappointing. Even though he's got 8 wins by KO, that's not in the UFC. So, and also Eric Anders has got the style to actually beat Leroy. And that is heavy clinching, lots of wrestling, stay up against the cage, and make it an ugly fight. And when I thought Eric Anders was going to be out of the UFC, he puts together a fucking 2-fight win streak. I'm like, oh my word, why did you have to get that right? Anyway, we're here now, and I don't think, even though he beat Chris Weidman by KO in his last fight, I still don't think he's going to do that to Leroy Duncan. However, I do think that if he stays safe and finds the patterns and Leroy throws at him in that first round, and maybe even shoot the 2-minute mark, 30 seconds, maybe a minute mark, maybe again 30 seconds, you might be able to feel, all right, I got Leroy here. He's tiring out. Maybe he's not putting too much energy in defending my takedowns. I can take him down a little bit easier. Stuff like that. Because then you can go around to, all right, I'm going to grapple you again now. If you don't change the game, I'm going to keep doing this to you. Then win the fight on decision. But Leroy, he's going to have to assert dominance, stay on the outside, utilize a lot of deep kicks, a lot of calf kicks, basically get Anders into the position where you're forcing him to wrestle you now. He's like, okay, I'm making you want to wrestle me, not necessarily giving him the chance to go that he can do it at will. It's like you have no choice but to try and shoot him now, because now you're going to get knocked out, right? That's the kind of game plan he needs to go into that fight with. Not rush, don't overextend. You're going to risk yourself getting into a clinch you don't want to be in. So I think that's the stylistic battle that we're going to see in this fight. And again, I hope Leroy gets it done. Please let the fans know why you are this elite kickboxer or very good knockout specialist, and just beat this guy in front of you, guy. Beat this guy in front of you, please. Let's go. another layup. That's my point. UFC's giving him a lot of layups, and he just keeps like decisioning them. You know what I'm saying? Enough layups, bro. Like let's get into a win streak now.
Hell yeah, bro. You mentioned there were no honorable mentions on the card, bro.
I can. You want me to? I can. Quick.
I mean, it's your time, bro.
Okay. Put the fights on screen. I'll give some names so people can check out for the weekend.
Sure.
All right. We will start with Elijah Smith. A good name to watch. I think his last fight he ended in a KO, if I'm not mistaken. He's a good young prospect for the organization. I'm not too familiar with his opponent. He won by unanimous decision. He beat Miles Morales. I remember that fight. Miles Morales was like, "I'm gonna bully this kid. I'm gonna show him why I'm the number one. I'm the guy in the UFC with all my experience." Elijah goes in there and boxes him all 3 rounds quite easily. Could have gotten the finish, but he didn't. The finish was there for the taking. He didn't take it, but he did show good hands, good composure, and I like that. So I think Elijah Smith is one to watch. I don't know anything about Toshiomi Kazama, but let's go, Jin Kazama. Show the people why you're here. We can skip the ladies, even though I know the names, but we can skip them. Then we will go below. We got Urus Medic taking on Gilbert Obina. If you know anything about the Obina family, they had 3 brothers. They've all been in the UFC before. Obina has been on the Ultimate Fighter. I don't think he's going to get the win here, but that's another name to watch. And then just below that, we have Gabriela Hernandez taking on Julia Stoliarenko. She was also an Ultimate Fighter. This should be a very fun fight to watch. Gabriela Hernandez has got heavy hands. And then Julia Stoliarenko is a very good grappler, fun fighter, made out of this ball of energy. So she's just a go-getter, doesn't get tired, good submission specialist as well. That should be a very good fun fight for the flyweight division. Then below that, we have Cody Brandage opening up the card. He could have been higher up on the card, but he's opening up the card against Timu version of Khalil Roundtree in Eric. Maconico. There you go. Let's go UFC.
Oh, come on. Mafta Babo, where are you? It shouldn't have taken me so long to find that. But anyway, we're working out the kinks. Anyway, BG, that is UFC Fight Night versus Hernandez. And a reminder that it's taking place on Sunday, 10th August at 1 a.m. So I'm sorry for the time. Intro. BG, give us your final thoughts. Pre-fight rating for the card, please.
Pre-fight rating for this fight card starts at a solid 5. And even though it's a half card, it's only 50%. That means that 50% of the fight card is actually very good fights. So let's go. It could potentially go higher. So hopefully this weekend we can talk about some good fights.
Give thanks, PG. I think 5 is a decent score. I'm gonna go 4 because I think it's below par actually. So yeah, it's not great. But anyway, we're here nonetheless, being the professionals that we are, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't made this far, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. With new content coming, so you can watch podcasts every day. Joe Rogan. PG, could you please do the honors of signing us out while I prep the necessary graphics? So.
Let's go. So for everybody that made it this far, drop the like, drop the shares. AD has mentioned much love to all the support from everybody. I did say earlier in the episode I want to drop a little bit of news. Quick, fast, nothing too much. We are in the process of working on our membership content. So for those of you, we're gonna have memberships coming up very, very soon. And one of those contents might potentially be a betting man segment coming back. We don't know. We'll talk about it, but stay tuned for content that will be exclusive to you, the audience that's brought us to this point. So much love for the love. Looking forward to seeing you on our lives coming up this weekend, particularly for that Friday fights. And then on that note, for myself, all of the people from Fighting with Vince, we would love to say thank you, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.